the results you're going to get in here are going to be massively amplified. Now, the difficulty that we had, and I think if I worked at it a little bit longer, I then was like, this is a little bit of distraction because I was getting way too into like trying to innovate this business model. But fundamentally, that's how it worked. It's just, okay, well, I have a capital cost for the gym, but once I incur that, the additional users isn't that much to take on in terms of price. And so I'm willing to give this thing away for free that other people charge for as long as they buy this other revenue stream that has more profit or has more income. And so that's how I think about pairing different services together, where you just take a very cheap service that a lot of people want. Even if you go from $20 to $0, it's still free. And free gets 10 times the interest of not free. And so that then allows you to generate the demand for your much more valuable service that you can sell at a higher LTV. I'll give you another version of this that I would test out. So if I had a large facility, right, I might say, you can come to my facility and you can use it free. You have to do these rules and I can kick you out. So that would control some of the riffraff, for example. But by doing that, I would use my gym as my free lead magnet to get people in the door. And then what would I do when they're in the door? Well, they got to sit down with us to do an onboarding consultation, which we would sell personal training at. And so it's like, I can give the whole gym membership away for free if you just buy personal training, knowing that only 1 out of 5 people are going to buy it. And that's fine because I didn't pay for the customers and I'm making all my profit here. So as long as my profit in my personal training covers the cost of maintaining the facility and I can still net a profit, then I have a good and very innovative business model. Number 13 is control over distribution channels. Now you might be like, this is really similar to contracts with distribution. And it is kind of, except it's way more valuable. Because contracts, at some point, they can break them. Like all of the vendors overnight could say, you know what, Coca-Cola, we don't want you. Now, is that likely? No. But if you have absolute control and ownership over distribution, you also can profit from everyone else's business too. And so Amazon, for example, owns a distribution monopoly, right? They have access to everybody in the United States. They're the most widely adopted product, which is Amazon Prime, in the United States in total. And that's how they can get you things in 2 hours, right? Which is crazy. And they had the warehouse network built out first, and they were putting so much strain on the US Postal Service and UPS that they were like, well, we're just going to start Amazon's delivery. And now Amazon's deliveries, you see the Amazon trucks everywhere where they just have their own people and their own vans that do all the deliveries for them. And so Amazon, because they have access to everyone's front doorstep, if you want to sell a product on Amazon, you pay Amazon 2/3 or half of the revenue, which is absurd. But it's also why Amazon's revenue is like $1 gajillion a year. How do you chunk this down so you're not Amazon? You're like, how do I make this work for me? So I would say on a smaller scale, you have local distribution. So you can create distribution centers in a local area and you just slowly expand outwards because in that city, in that tiny area, you're the best. Now, the other version of this is that you get really good distribution on a specific market segment.